What's up, party people? It's Keys Dan with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, What Makes You Famous? It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. One more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability and get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know I like to party with the people. The people need to be entertained. Are you not entertained? Let me entertain you. Man, I've been doing a lot of weddings lately. A lot of karaoke shows. Yeah, the video dance party, karaoke jam, but wedding season. You know, people talk about wedding season. I think wedding season is all year long. So I'm so happy that I still get to be a part of people's big days, their weddings, in addition to the clubs and the bars and the restaurants and the pool parties that I get to do. Yeah, I'm just stoked that I still get to play for the people. Speaking of playing for the people, today on the program, I have Alyssa Ruffin. Oh, what? You know that name? Oh, you've heard of Alyssa Ruffin? Yeah? Musical sensation, Alyssa Ruffin? Yeah. Well, you're going to get to hear a little bit more about Alyssa Ruffin in the next few minutes, so stick around. This week's shows, I have two public shows this week. My regular Friday night gig at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas, the Video Dance Party Karaoke Jam. They have a full bar, the kitchen's open, pool tables. They have a pool tournament on Friday nights. So if you want to try your hand at playing pool, and possibly make some money while you're waiting to sing on stage right next to yours truly, come on out to the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. That's from 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. Yeah, way past my bedtime. And then on Saturday, I have another public show. I know usually Saturdays I'm doing weddings and stuff, but I have a public show over at the Choctaw VFW. I like going to Choctaw VFW because I get to say Choctaw. And then I play that song, Indian Outlaw, because they say Choctaw. And that's over at the VFW in Choctaw. Yeah, real close to Clinton, in that area. So that's at 8 p.m. until 12:30 in the a.m. They have pool tables. They have a big room, a nice stage, lots of room to dance. And the stage is partially yours because I'll be sitting right next to you as you're singing, providing the entertainment. I'll be pushing buttons. And it's a little concert starring each and every one of you at the karaoke show. Kind of excited to be back at the Choctaw VFW. I think it's been a few months since I've been there, but every time I go to the Choctaw VFW, it's a blast. Good times, entertaining the people. All right, that's enough intro. Let's get into it with Alyssa Ruffin. Now, I got her on the Skype, so if you're listening to the audio version of this, I encourage you to check out the video version on my YouTube page, youtube.com/user/KeysDan. Skyping Alyssa Ruffin now. Look at her, all camera ready and ready to go. My goodness. You can tell she's a pro. She's done this before. She's been on camera. She's been in interviews. She's used to being on film. Alyssa Ruffin, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
So good. I'm Keys Dan, the What Makes You Famous podcast. Welcome to the show. Hey, I'm trying to pin you down musically, and I know it's not cool to pin people down musically. You're not anyone that's going to be pinned down musically.
No,
so just like my radio station, RadioWhat.com, people ask me all the time, hey, what kind of music do you play? I say whatever I like, and if I like it, somebody else is going to like it. So what kind of music do you sing, Alyssa Ruffin?
I do mostly country rock. It's country rock, so guitar-driven country. I do a little bit of pop and R&B, vocal overlays, some blues. I kind of just blend multiple genres. I'm very versatile. I fronted a lot of different style bands, fronted rock bands for several years, fronted some pop and R&B bands. So I just kind of blended my version of country into what I'm doing musically.
Well, I hardly ever do any research on these things, but your website is so extensive. You have a bio that's about as long as my CVS receipt. You know, it's just it keeps going and going and going. So I'm thinking, every time you move, is that when you change genres, or do you pick up a new genre every time you move to a new city?
No, I just grew up. I started country, and then I kind of switched to pop and R&B. Got into Christina Aguilera, Mariah Carey. So I did that for a long time, and then as an adult, I got into rock and fronting rock bands, and then it became more of like the dance, Lady Gaga and kind of stuff, Kesha, and so I went back to my roots, but I had done so many different genres for so long, I was having a difficult time trying to find my country style.
Well, it sounds like, Alyssa Ruffin, you cannot pin yourself down. So how is anybody else going to try? There's no way. There's no how. And I want you to keep that. I want you to keep yourself open to new experiences, to new sounds, to new, new producers. As you meet up with different people that want to help you get you to the next level, as it were, on the music scene or in any scene. Do you have other interests besides the music? Are you some musicians, some creators don't limit themselves even creatively? They start out as a movie stars or wanting to get into the acting gigs, and then they go into music, and then they go into writing, and then they go into cartooning, and then it's just you never know. Alyssa Ruffin, okay, you had starts. Everybody starts somewhere. Where did you start? Give me the location, and then we'll find out from there the journey of Alyssa Ruffin.
I was born in Mason City, Iowa, where Buddy Holly, Ritchie Valens, and Big Boppers plane crashed. And so my mom is also a singer-songwriter, recording artist, and she would take me along with her to all of her gigs, all of her singing competitions. She ran karaoke shows for most of my life, and she would find a chair in any bar or anywhere that they would let me in, and she'd stick me on top of a chair and let me sing. And so that was like a big part of how I got my start. And once she knew that I could sing and I had vibrato, she put me into all kinds of different fairs and festivals and anything she could to help give me my own platform.
Okay, well, as a person that goes and does a lot of karaoke shows, when I was in Miami, I never did. I did a little bit of karaoke here and there, DJing parties and such. Most of the time, it was club DJing or wedding DJing. But then when I moved here to Arkansas, it seems like karaoke is the thing to do. And they said, "Hey, Keys Dan, can you cover my karaoke show?" Sure, no problem. And it snowballed from there. Your mom, I'm sure, she got into karaoke. She thought, well, this will be a way to make a couple extra bucks. And then it just snowballed. Once you get a good karaoke show going, and that it makes the people. It's not like I'm doing any work. I'm really not providing any entertainment. Maybe I'll play some background music, but it's you, the singer, that provides the entertainment. I push a button and you sing a song. So when you're a little kid and go into a bar, wait a minute. Okay. I know a lot of karaoke shows are at bars, but I try to find some that are family friendly. People ask me all the time, "Hey, can you go do that Mexican restaurant, like you used to, so I could bring my kid to come sing a song?" But your first times singing songs were where?
Yeah, in bar venues.
How does that happen? Is it really lax in Iowa? I guess, is that where you're from?
That's where I was born. I kind of grew up in Denver, Colorado as well. And my mom, she performed all over. We lived all over the U.S. and Canada, and they never minded. And I think it's because my mom had such a good, solid relationship with the venue owners. They always trusted me, even as I was a teenager, hanging out with all these adults that were drinking and whatnot, but I just was there to sing, and they allowed it. So,
well, I don't know if it's a matter of trust. It's a matter of law. I guess in certain counties you can count. It's not a bar; it's a restaurant, and that might be the way to skirt the laws. Because I don't worry about you singing songs. I'm happy to have you come into the venue. I just don't want you to. I don't want to go to jail. I don't want to get in trouble. But let's talk about the nomadic nature of your upbringings. Why are you moving from town to town? Is it the gypsy life for you, or one of your parents maybe in the military, or what's going on there?
My mom definitely, it was the gypsy life and being a performer, and she was all over singing everywhere. And then I married military, so I move every 1 to 3 years now.
What? Okay, all right. This is a parent. Okay, nature versus nurture. You've been nurtured into moving around from place to place, so you found yourself a mate that does the same thing. That's fantastic. That's good. You know, hey, the military needs love too. Congratulations on that. I kind of did peruse that, and I don't want you to have to tell too much of his story, but there's a man in your life. Is he in the Space Force?
He is. He was Air Force for 15 years. He's been Space Force for the last 2.
What's the Space Force?
I don't know. I give him guff all the time because I love aliens. So I'm always like, when are you going to take me to Area 51? But I think they do a lot of like satellite stuff. I don't really know. I'm not there, so I have no idea.
I watched the TV show with Steve Carell. It was hilarious. Space Force. I don't know if you've seen the show. You had to have. Come on. Being married to a space.
I have never seen it.
Okay, all right. Well, they go off to the moon. I think it was a play on. I guess President Trump was really gung ho about going to space and trying to beat the other countries to getting there. I think that's is that the way it is? If another country announces that they're going to do something, I guess America wants to be first and decides to try to beat them. And you're very okay. Your bio begins with Patriot Girl. What makes you the Patriot Girl?
I created that logo design. Well, my friend created it for me, but I helped design it with her. And I wanted something to showcase all parts of my life, different characters, like different versions of me in a pinup art form. So the pink lady is my signature pinup girl. And then the Patriot Girl originated in 2020, right before the pandemic hit. I was getting ready for this tour, and I was playing the Freedom Rally in Iowa, the Beta Iowa Freedom Rally, opening for Confederate Railroad. And I was like, okay, I need something that's like America. It was like the 4th of July weekend, and I just wanted something. So that's how she came about. And then last year, we came out with Space Girl. So she's like riding a rocket.
Okay. I think I've seen that. But when I was growing up, I was really into World War II. My brother and I were into that, and we saw a lot of flying tigers and a lot of the Air Force guys. It must have been Army Air Corps back then. They had pictures of their best gals, maybe caricatures of their best gals on the sides of their warplanes. And the pinup, it's classic. I'm a fan of the female form, but when it's in pinup form, my goodness, it's a beaut. It's nice to have that hanging up on the wall of your shop, and something to inspire you. Why are you doing the things you do? Well, hey, pretty girls run the world. Well, girls run the world. All girls are beautiful. You run the world. You think, okay, I watched My Big Fat Greek Wedding, and my favorite line is, he might be the head of the family, but we're the neck, and we can make him turn any way that we want. Is that how you feel? Do you feel like in a partnership you have a mate? Do you feel like there's one that really makes the decisions, or do you play on different strengths?
We definitely play on different strengths. I rely on him to help me make decisions a lot. I'm a very indecisive person outside of music in real life. Anything that's not related to music, I don't know. Don't ask me what I want for dinner because I have no idea. Just like pick a place and I'll try to find something. I'm a typical woman. But yeah, we play off of different strengths, and I make jokes sometimes. I'll say, he wears the pants in the relationship. I just tell him which ones to wear.
Well, no, you've touched on things that age old relationship questions. You watch it, you see the things in movies, the tropes. Hey, where would you like to go to dinner? Anywhere. And then after dinner, you picked a really crappy place. That wasn't nice. Yeah. No, why didn't you pick what you wanted? Or hey, where would you like to go to dinner? Anywhere. Okay, how about Thai food? No, I don't like Thai. How about Mexican? No, I don't want to. And then just shoot down place after place after place until the man is just frustrated. Or it could be the woman that's doing that. Maybe the guy's doing the anywhere and being indecisive. It happens on both sides. I've seen it. I've heard it. I've been a part of it. It gets frustrating. But, hey, that's relationships. And you having the power of writing music, are you writing your own music mostly? Or are you, from what I saw, okay, look, I don't do a lot of research. I say that, but I was watching some of your videos on your YouTube, and you have collaborations. You have people that have written for you. You've written for yourself. Tell me about, all that. And what was the first song that you wrote and actually put out to the world?
Oh gosh, I started writing when I was 14. The first song that I wrote and put out to the world, Collateral Damage was my first single, but it was somewhat of a co-write. It was inspired by a poem from a female veteran, and I was basically tasked by Operation Check 6. I partnered with them, and I wrote, I turned a veteran's story into a song, and it's personal because I share a similar story to her. So I did write the song, but it was inspired from her poem, from her story. And so I guess the first song that I'm putting out that I wrote solely 100% by myself is Party Down a Dirt Road, and that's coming out on Friday.
I saw that. Okay. Now, yes, Collateral Damage. That, man, I know you've probably told this story hundreds, maybe thousands of times. Collateral Damage, its subject matter is deep. It's deep and it's personal. And it's not just personal to you, it's personal to a lot of people. And do you feel like you've touched people? Do you get feedback on Collateral Damage? Maybe you can give an overview. What is Collateral Damage about? And then maybe some of the feedback on that.
It's about surviving trauma, specifically surviving sexual trauma. It has touched so many people. It still blows my mind, even just as recent as yesterday. I was on a conversation with someone who, was like, hey, I found your song in my Facebook feed, and so I thought I'd shoot you a friend request. I just wanted to let you know, I'm a survivor. I really appreciate this. I love this song. I listened to it on repeat. And it's things like that is just, as scary as it was to kind of come out and tell my own story and be open and honest with everything that I went through personally. And then to share that story with so many people, it's crazy. Every single time that it comes up, somebody's like, I'm a survivor too. And so it has been just so rewarding in a way, to be able to help other people, because that's what I wrote this chorus for, to provide hope and encourage others to find their voice. So it's been amazing. I couldn't have asked for a better outcome, honestly.
No, I'm sure it's cathartic to put it out to the world, to let it out, and then to find that there's a group of people that are sharing the same things. And sexual abuse is a touchy subject, but what goes through my brain is, why would you abuse someone? Well, is it the caveman brain that, ugh, you hit girl overhead, ugh, my girl, ugh, you know, and then you do as you wish. I'm not sure the details of your experience, but I'm just, you know, the first overview, the first thought is man on woman, ugh, I overpower, ugh, and then they take advantage. Is that?
Yeah. More specifically, it was about childhood sexual abuse. But I also was abused as a teenager. So it was kind of like a double thing for me. And, you know, there have been men that came forward and, you know, shared their stories with me even. So it's not even like one specific form of abuse. It's so many different ways and so many different people and so many different situations. It's just it's sad, but you know, I'm glad that I was able to give some type of healing or help in some kind of healing with that song. So it made it all worthwhile. You know, at first it was, I hated it. I hated every single minute. I was like terrified for the world to know my deep, dark secret. And, you know, it was like I was helping this female veteran, but I was struggling with my own personal story also being put out there and exposed. And so it was just like, I wanted to do it to help her and to, you know, give back to the military community and, you know, help others find a voice. But at the same time, I was like dreading it, you know, and every single interview I did, and I had planned, so, because it was my first single. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to promote it. So I like booked interview after interview, podcast, radio, magazine, you name it. I did it all. And so the first like probably month, I dreaded talking about it. I hated it. I didn't want to. I was like, I felt like this, I don't know, scared little girl, like bottled up in a shell. And then the more I spoke out about it, the more comfortable I became. And by the end of last summer, because I released it in March, by the end of last summer, I was coming out about like surviving domestic violence and being a 2-time suicide survivor. And I was just letting it all out. Like, I feel so liberated and freed just from that one song, which ultimately stemmed from one voice, from her willingness to put her story and her poem out there. So
Alyssa Ruffin, that's what an artist does. They rip their heart open and let it bleed and let the blood flow all over the world. Sometimes it kills them, you know, and I'm so glad that you have people with you, your husband, the team that you know, not only the team that you've signed on with, but the collaborators and the people on your social media that have reached out. You have people that are helping you cope with this, and that's what makes it easier. Is you have shared experiences. We cannot do this all by ourselves, whether it be, you know, making music or telling stories. You know, are you going to tell a story to yourself? No. Even if you're telling a story to your YouTube page, you expect to see people listening to it and clicking on it and giving feedback about it. But you know, it's a thing that you have as a creator, a superpower that you take the experiences that you have in life, big, small, bad, good, you know, and that's all subjective, and you turn them into song, you turn them into writings, you turn them into teachings. Really, you're a teacher. You teach other people by sharing your story, and this is something wonderful. Now, you said that men have come forward, and I remember as a teenager, you know, and I've had experiences with ladies, and sometimes you know, I wasn't ready for those experiences, but you know, when you're a kid, I remember, you know, me and my bros, you know, my buds would have been at the playground or at the local, I guess I would have been at the cinema, at the record store, or at the video game parlor. And if I would have said, oh, that girl that I went to the movies with last night, she took advantage of me, they would have been, high five, bro, high five, woo, yeah. You know, I mean, is that, we're supposed to be tough. We're the men, the manly man, alpha, you know, and we're not supposed to open ourselves up like that. But you've had men that have done that to you, to a woman. What's that? I mean, how did that feel? And have you written a song about it?
I have not written a song about it. I never want to violate someone else's trust or, you know, their willingness to share something so traumatic, you know, with me. That's not my place. If they were to come to me and say, hey, I want to share my story, will you write a song about it? That would be a different thing. But no, I haven't ever written any of those stories without consent.
Well, I know I make light of it, you know, and you know, boys will be boys, girls will be girls, you know, that kind of thing, and ever the tween shall meet. And I know that that's those lines are starting to get blurred now. Well, what do you think about what's going on in the world? Well, I mean, what do you have relationships with different kinds of people? I think about what's happening, and I have a 16-year-old daughter, and I wonder what she's growing up into and what she, you know, how she's going to feel about, I don't know, I guess now that we're in the LBGTQRST month, and I know I made light of that too. I missed a couple of acronyms, but how do you feel about what's going on that front?
I mean, there's just, I don't know. I'm gonna no comment.
Okay. I know. I'm bringing deep stuff.
Everybody, yeah. You know, like my biological grandfather on my maternal side is a person of color. He's Black. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know that, but I have always advocated just for general humanity, you know, just be a normal person, you know, be kind to others. It never ever mattered to me if a person was, you know, a specific background or, you know, anything like that. And I have plenty of friends that are, you know, gay, straight, bi, you know, it's whatever. Like, I think everybody deserves love. I think God loves everybody. And I think that if there was a little more compassion, we wouldn't have all of the chaos and all of the negative, you know?
Yeah, I'm born and raised in Miami and the Florida Keys, so I dealt with all kinds of people, and I'm very happy about that. You know, people. Okay, I'm listening to the news, and they don't want to describe someone as Black or white or Hispanic or what they want. Oh, I don't know what the PC term is. You know, when I was a kid, we recognized our differences and we celebrated them. Okay, I'm half Cuban, half Irish. I don't think anybody is one thing. We're so many different things. You know, we're all mixed up together. I think I have well, not a first cousin because my mom was an only child, but I think at least I have a second cousin who was black as night. And yeah, so we have colors all along the spectrum as far as that's concerned. And I heard just recently on a podcast, if people move from the equator to closer to the North Pole, their skin tones will get lighter in 20 generations. So a black person from the equator that moves to the closer to the North Pole and vice versa, in 20 generations, the black one will become whiter and the whiter person will become blacker because of melanin. Okay, so I think race is all a construct anyway. We're all black and white and red and brown, and we're all the same. It just depends on where we're living and where our family grew up. But I know this is all getting kind of deep, and hopefully some of this falls into an Alyssa Ruffin song one day. You know, some of the muse. You never know where you're going to get your inspiration. And you had some inspiration from some really deep and, dare I say it, dark subject matter. I mean, stuff that abuse. I mean, and and you came through it. You became an advocate to help.
Right.
You're a helper. That's beautiful. That's a way you and the way to bring people together and change minds and change lives is for people to go to an Alyssa Ruffin concert and see a show and listen to what you've written for them. Now tell me about, as you progressed from the one song, where did you go from there? Did you perform the one song as in addition to covers? What's the touring situation? You going off outside of the karaoke realm with your mom? You're like, Mom, I can't go to karaoke shows with you anymore. I got to bust out on my own and become the star that I always knew I could be. I mean, this is me just paraphrasing. What was your story?
She's a writer and everything, so she's doing her own thing. Aside from that song, I do covers primarily, and I think I enjoy covering other people's music as much as I do, writing about my own personal life and performing those songs. It doesn't matter either way to me. I released a song that, somebody else wrote because they asked me to. And I just love performing. I love entertaining people. I love connecting with people through music, whether it's my words or somebody else's. And, I always try to make sure that everybody has a good time. I try to keep it upbeat and energetic and fun, to make sure that I'm giving them an incredible experience, something that they're going to remember, like, oh my gosh, I had so much fun last night, and that's what it's all about. Like, I want people to be able to have fun and put a smile on their face, because some people are going through some dark stuff at home that nobody knows about, and I think that it's important to just live life. We're only here for a short period of time.
Well, Alyssa Ruffin, I want you to give credit where credit is due. We've already gone through. We can't do it all by ourselves. Give shout outs to people as you go through. You said that you collaborated with the veteran, the female veteran, and she helped you to put your first song. In what capacity did she record the song? Did she mix the song? Did she help you write the song? And where did you mix and master it? And you can give shout outs to the studio as well. Maybe people will somebody listening to this will follow in your journey and go, I like the way Alyssa Ruffin sounds. I want to be just like her. Stalker much? Well, yeah, maybe a fan addict.
Within reason. Collateral Damage she wrote a poem, Lindsay Nowling, and I borrowed some different lines from her poem to create verses and wrote the verses out. I wrote the bridge, I wrote the chorus, and I actually hired in an effort to highlight females in the music industry. I worked with all females on this project. So the guitar player, the bass player, the piano, the drums, the cello, all of it, the producer and engineer, all females. And so I actually flew to Madison, Wisconsin and worked with Audrey Martinovich. And Audrey is a Grammy voting member. She is the first female contributor to Pro Tools Expert. And she was just an incredible delight to work with. Like, she was so much fun. She saw my vision. She was able to, create this beautiful melody, music arrangement, I should say, to my melody and help me put that song together. So it was really incredible. And Dan Hudson from Operation Check 6 is the person who connected me to Lindsay Nowling. Rosalind Howery is a friend of mine. She's the friend who tagged me on the Facebook post that got all of this started in the first place. And let's see, Jules from Jules and the Howl played piano on the track. Jenna Jonas played guitar and drums and I think bass. And then Audrey put some, different elements in there. And Allison Lenz is playing cello. And that's almost one of my favorite parts is the cello. It's just so gorgeous. And it hits at the right moment in the song. It's incredible. And so shout out to all those ladies, and Produced by a Girl for connecting me to Audrey.
Wow. That is fantastic. Now, did you go seeking out a female group, or this is just, it happened to fall together serendipitously?
So I knew that I wanted women, all females, on the track because I wanted to highlight women in the industry. So I reached out to Jules from Jules and Howell, and I know her through Gritty and Pink. And Gritty and Pink is another all-female musician-based platform. Produced by a Girl is also an all-female musician-based platform. And so she connected me to Audrey. Audrey was able to connect me with Jenna and Allison.
That is fantastic.
We all worked together as a team, and nobody knew each other. I think Audrey knew Allison and Jenna, but aside from that, nobody knew each other.
Yeah, and you all flew off to Minnesota, I guess, is that what it was, Minnesota?
I flew to Wisconsin.
Wisconsin.
Yeah, and so Jules is in LA, so she did everything virtually, remotely. I wanted to be in person. I just prefer like in studio, and it worked out because I ended up hiring Mod Media Productions, who is also through Audrey, and filmed my music video in the studio. So they filmed the whole thing and we turned it into a music video.
Fantastic. See how that works, and it just keeps snowballing and rolling, and the music video is beautiful. It's well done. It's well shot. They're not they have credentials. They have street cred. My first touching Pro Tools was back in, I think I did a refresher back in '86. I did a radio course in college, but then I said, man, things have been changing since reel to reel and tape and analog. Now it's all going digital. So I think in 2003, I went back to radio school and learned about. There was a little bit of it was a radio and television school. I guess I can shout out Connecticut Schools of Broadcasting, but it was a radio and television school that helped me learn more about the digital age, and I see that's where things are going. Cutting and splicing, or cutting and pasting, was really an analog term that got taken for the digital age. So now I did know how to cut and splice tape, but now I know how to cut and splice digitally. And you have a whole group. Have you ever taped on digital tape? I mean, on analog tape? Have you ever done music that way? And where was that?
I have. Before I answer that question, I do want to shout out B Squared Management. That's another all-female based musicians services. And so they actually created my lyric video for Collateral Damage. So I didn't want to leave them out. Shout out to B Squared Management.
Yeah, funny enough, B Squared Management, I just shared a video that they had on my Facebook. And that's a quick way to help an artist, my loyal listener. If you see what they have, come down to your Facebook feed, share it, tell two friends, and they'll tell two friends. All right, continue with your story.
Yes, I have recorded on analog tape in Nashville, Tennessee. My mom actually was in the recording studio, and she was working with, his name was Jack, and I think it was Jack. He had produced, he'd worked with like Alison Krauss and Ernest Tubb and all these people. So we were in Nashville, and my mom was technically there. It was her studio session, but she, of course, brought me in, and I got to do some harmonies, but it was definitely all analog. We were there all day, all night for several days, and It was all done on tape.
Wow. So you've worked with your mom. You said that she's an artist in her own right, and you've worked with your mom. Did you sing on some of her records or recordings?
Aside from that studio session, no, but she has been talking to me about it a lot lately. And we've performed together, like tons of covers for years. And we actually had a little duo going for a while called Mirror. And I look just like her. So it was, she kind of came up with the name Mirror. And my daughter sings as well. So if I could get her and my mom to collaborate and do like 3-part harmony, oh,
what a treat. What a treat for you. What a treat for us, bringing generations together, bringing families together. You know, as a father of 2 girls myself, you know, I'm always looking for activities. What can I do with my daughter to help develop that bond, you know, that father-daughter bond. And you know, the wife is always wondering what she can do with her daughter. I mean, the dance, it seems to be the way to go. She's taken a lot of dance classes, and that's wonderful. But me, you know, here I am grinding, and I come home and I go, you know, 16-year-old kid is a challenge in itself. I remember when I was 16, but I come home and I say, hey, how's your day? But if I could find an activity that I could do with her, like sing, well, I don't sing that well. I guess I've sang a karaoke song or 2, but it's so great that you're singing with your mom, and then in turn with your daughter, your own offspring. You've made a star on your own, you know, of your own. That's fantastic. Now, I'm so giddy. I'm so giddy just thinking about the possibilities of Alyssa Ruffin and mom and daughter and possibly even husband. Is the husband? Okay, I might know part of the answer to this. Is he in the music business too?
he is. He actually has a degree in music production through the LA Film School, and he's DJ'd and all kinds of stuff before.
Yeah, and he takes a lot of pictures. I fully believe that part of the reason that you married him was because he takes good pictures of you. That was a bonus.
I had to teach him how to do that. No.
That was a bonus on the check mark. Yes, he has a good subject matter, okay? But yeah, you know, that's fantastic. You're a team, and you're building a life together, and you're raising children together. How many kids do you have?
We have 3 kids together.
3.
I have 2 older kids from previous relationships.
Yes.
But yeah, we have 3 together, 3 girls, and they are awesome.
That's fantastic. You know, and you're building a life together. You say the one is into music. What are the other 2 getting into? And then the 2 older ones, what are they off to?
The 3 girls here, they all are musically talented. They don't get into it. So my youngest is 6, and then I have a 7-year-old. So they're not really like, they're still, you know, I'd rather play with my toys kind of thing, play my games. Aurelia, she has such a gorgeous voice, and she's very much into, she wants to become an actress. She wants to do the Disney thing. She's into musicals. So I think maybe Broadway or something for her. When she's ready, we're just trying to work through some stage fright issues at the moment.
Well, I mean, you as a parenting couple, do you cultivate that? Or, you know, I think there's 2 ways to parent. The carpenter, where you decide what they're going to be and you hammer them into that. Or the gardener, where you give them all the tools and you water and you cultivate that way their interests. You know, you can be of 2 kinds. And I don't know which one's better. You know, if you're going to make a doctor or a lawyer or whatever, a baker, and you're going to teach them all there is to know about baking and just baking, and don't let them veer off that path. Or do you let them go off and do, you know, all kinds of different things?
I'm kind of a mixture of both, I think. my mom was definitely the carpenter. You know, when she knew I could sing, it was over, and that was my life. So I didn't have a say in it. I did thank her for it later. But I'm kind of a mixture of both. I encourage them to pursue their gift because I fully believe it should be shared, especially as talented as Aurelia is. Like, her voice is incredible. I had to work half of my lifetime to be that good, and she just, you know, has it. But, you know, like, I'm kind of the gardener where I also want them to be inspired by something, not just what I want for them. I want them to find their own thing. And whatever it is, that's fine. You know, I'll support it within reason.
No, that's beautiful, Alyssa Ruffin. Yes, and we worry for our children. I think maybe one of your genes mutated and got into Aurally and gave her the singing ability. So she might be an X-Man. It's possible. It's possible. Yeah. So you gave her a leg up, a jump in that direction. And hey, if she chooses to go in that direction, what better parent to have, and grandparent for that matter, to help cultivate in that direction. Well, I look forward to hearing collaborations between you and her, you and mom, maybe the three of you. Fantastic. That's the dream that you've put out into the universe. The thoughts of maybe collaborating with your mom, and then possibly with your daughter, and then with your hubby.
Maybe my grandma.
What? Grandma's in the biz too?
Okay, so my mom was adopted. Her mom, my grandma that I grew up with, was an opera singer. She passed away when I was 10, but I found both of my parents were adopted. So I found both of their biological families. And my biological maternal grandmother, my mom's mom, is also a singer. And so I haven't ever had a chance to meet her, but she lived this whole life. Like, she was a performer and she was on TV shows and all kinds of stuff. So yeah, if you're listening, I would love to.
Oh my goodness. I mean, I if you have the means to go there, that's one thing, but this thing we call the internet can be used for good as well as evil. And you've used it for good already. You went to Wisconsin, you recorded your voice, you sent it out to LA, and then it got all mixed down and mastered. Fantastic. This is things you can do. And so even if you cannot meet in person, which I hope you do get a hold of her and actually sing in the same room. What a blessing. What a feeling. What a wonderful thing that to happen, to have, what is it? Possibly even 4 generations singing together. Oh my goodness. The harmonies. I look forward to it. I'm listening forward to it. But there's more. I mean, you said that your daughter's name Aurally, and there's an Aurally. Wait, what happened
Aurelia.
with Aurelia and then Aurally? Is that a coincidence that you've signed a piece of paper with something going on, and I'm leading you into a story about what's going on recently where you signed?
Aurally Records is it's okay. So Mary Knobloch is the founder and CEO of Produced by a Girl and Aurally Records. And so she is the label head, and she offered me an incredible opportunity. I was able to help bring on a couple other artists that I believe in. And, I think I'm looking forward to this adventure and distributing my music through them. They are a Sony Music subsidiary label powered by The Orchard. So all of my music will be distributed through the Orchard platform.
Okay, I'm not sure what The Orchard is. I've heard of Sony, of course. They're a powerhouse in the industry, to be sure. I think I've dealt with Sony Miami many times in my travels when I was on the radio down there. But, the Orchard, what is The Orchard?
They're owned by Sony Music. It's their distribution platform.
Okay, like a digital platform then.
Yes.
Fantastic. Is anybody selling? Okay, it's a hipster niche, and I miss having my thousands of records. I had so many records. They got lost or stolen over the years. I think I have 1 or 2 albums left, but I don't even have a turntable anymore. Everything's digital since I gave up my turntables back in probably around the turn of the millennium, and I've gone all digital, but I still have the digital wheels of steel. But do you still press CDs? Do you have, when you're at an Alyssa Ruffin show, when you go after the show, do we get to meet you? Do we get to buy some merch? And what's on the merch table?
I am actually working on getting CDs distributed. I have not done that before. People were always requesting even covers. They're like, I don't care if you sing covers all day. I just want a CD. And every single show that I go to, everybody wants one. So I decided I'm going to start distributing CDs. I'm also going to distribute vinyl because vinyl is making a comeback. And aside from that, I usually offer autograph 8x10s. I'll autograph them for you, put a message on there if you want to. I'm starting to do posters. I usually have guitar picks, t-shirts, tank tops. I'm going to work on getting koozies because that is a very sought after item in the South.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean, I usually try to, get anything that my fans ask for. So
yeah, Alyssa Ruffin, one of the many things that is coming down my screen on my Facebook feed, my Instagram, buy a t-shirt from an artist, because that's like millions and millions of listens on Spotify. You're not making any money on the streaming. What is going on here? You've signed on with this record company that it can be good and can be bad. I'm hoping that it's a good decision. It seems like it's a good decision. It's going to help you get to that next level, because by yourself you could do a certain amount of things, but when you have the Aurally Records, the Orchard behind you, the Sony name behind you, that's going to take you to the next level. But do artists still make money selling millions and millions of records, or is it all in live concert? Is that where you're having to make your living, or is it in merch? How is an artist supposed to make it in this world? Singing their songs and doing their thing.
Definitely stream their song, like at least listen to it, and buying merch. Absolutely attend a show, because you're not just helping out the artists, you're also helping out the venues who are also struggling. And, we're all small business owners at the end of the day. And I keep trying to tell people it starts with you. It really does, because, even if I signed a major record deal next month and they offered me, a nationwide or worldwide stadium tour, I still need you guys to show up, and then for the smaller venues, the artists, this is where we start out. We start out playing like local acoustic shows. We start out playing singer-songwriter rounds. We start out playing in bars and casinos or fairs, whatever we can. And we climb the ladder. We work our way up. But we need you to attend. We need you to buy a t-shirt. We need you to stream our song. We get paid 0.033 cents per stream. So we have to have 1,000 streams to make $3, and it's hard. So yes, it matters. Show up, be supportive. You're going to go spend how much money on a shirt, even at Walmart, $20 nowadays. You can buy a t-shirt, support your friends, support your person that you're, fanning over.
Yeah. And this shirt is more valuable because it has Alyssa Ruffin on the front.
Yes, and I will sign the back.
Oh, I have many shirts in my closet that have been signed. I don't know if I can wear them. I think I need to make shadow boxes for all of them, put them up on the wall behind me, because I can't wear a shirt that's been signed by an artist. And yes, even I go to local artists and go to local shows and support your local artists. That's very important. You're talking about going to different little clubs, little venues. Even when you're a successful artist, huge, you're a singer wants to sing, an artist wants to play. One of the coolest things, we have a place called Juanita's in Little Rock, Arkansas. A very small venue, kind of liken it to the CBGBs of New York back in its heyday. People will come through there. I think the coolest thing was when Green Day came through. They never announced that Green Day was having a concert there, but they kind of just snuck through because they felt like playing. They happened to be in the area. Hey, can we use that stage? Sure, no problem. Bam! Those 50 people in the room got treated to Green Day. What?
Yeah,
and that's
awesome.
That's where you're going to be. You say maybe you want to do a world tour, and that's another level that may be hard on a family. That's a decision that has to be made with not just you and your husband, but maybe even a huddle with the whole family. I'm not sure the dynamic, but it's hard to go traveling around the world unless of course you can put them all in the Winnebago and take them with you. That's possible. I mean, that does happen. But if Alyssa Ruffin, mom, wife, daughter wants to go off and go around the world with her band, I mean, do you feel like that's something you want to do, or do you want to keep it local?
Absolutely.
What?
Yeah, we've already had that talk. We've already had that discussion. We've already worked out a plan. My lovely, incredible, amazing in-laws have offered to help with the girls or even take them for the school year if I want to go on tour overseas or even in the US. And I'm actually planning a tour right now. So if you're listening and you're looking for music, feel free to reach out to book me. But they are going to come down and stay here at my house and make sure the girls are, get to school and whatnot for the months that I'm going to be gone.
Alyssa Ruffin, there was no hesitation. I barely finished the question, and you said, yes, I do want to go on tour. I want to be a worldwide sensation. It's worldwide sensation, Alyssa Ruffin, is going to be the nom de plume, the nom de plume. So, oh, my goodness. So, all right, you've put that out into the universe. Whether you believe in that kind of thing or not, speaking what you want, holding yourself accountable, even telling your best friend, even telling your husband, hey, I'm going to do this thing. That kind of holds you accountable. Now you've held yourself accountable to the universe. You've said the thing that you want. So is that the 5-year plan for Alyssa Ruffin? Go around the world?
Yes, I would love to tour the UK, Australia, parts of Europe, and definitely the US. I'm working on the Midwest and the Southeast right now. And yes, that's definitely my personal goals. I mean, I don't need a major label to do that. I just need contacts to book.
And that's what
it's going to happen. I'm going to do it. And I'm working towards becoming a Recording Academy member as well. That's also on my list.
Wow. And that's what you get with your social media, putting yourself out there to the world, putting your music out there, singing covers. That's something. All right. When you sing covers, that's what a party band will do. We'll go off. You sing a couple of covers, maybe 2 or 3 songs in. Hey, you want to hear one of mine? What crowd is going to say, no, they're going to say, yeah, I want to hear an Alyssa Ruffin song. Man, you're singing, wonderfully. You're changing our moods. We've had a bad week, and that's another superpower that you have. And you want to take that worldwide. That's amazing, amazing. I see nothing but greatness for you, and I hope that happens. And, drag your mom, grandma, your kid, along with you from time to time, because I want to see that too. But, as we wind this thing down, and I don't want this to be the last time that we talk. I know I've taken a bit of your time, but as time progresses, I want you to come back and talk about things and songs that are coming out. You've already let the cat out of the bag. There's a new song coming out. Tell me how that came about and what inspired the new song. Tell us about it.
Party Down a Dirt Road. Yes, it's coming out Friday, June 24th. And I wrote it about, growing up, being fun, fearless, and having a good time. In Iowa, there really wasn't a whole lot to do. And you can only cruise Main Street so many times. So we got creative, and we would, drive around gravel roads and find abandoned houses or abandoned fields, hidden in trees or behind cornfields or whatever it was, out of the way so we couldn't be spotted. And we would throw huge bonfire kegger parties. And, we would mix, somebody would buy like a big trash pail, like a garbage pail, and we'd mix, beer and booze and juice, and it was our jungle juice, that's what we called it, moonshine, and primarily Busch Light. So that's what I sang about. It's party down a dirt road, throwing bonfires, having a good time, piling in the car with your friends, and mudding was a part of it sometimes. Mudding, or we were a little bit reckless, so we did some burnouts and
This portion of the podcast brought to you by Busch Light. Please send Busch Light Alyssa Ruffin's way. Please sponsor Alyssa Ruffin. Send lots of money, lots of cash. No, hey, I remember, look, I'm born back in the 1900s myself, and I remember playing outside. And when I was just a baby DJ, and it was just me, my record player, and a bunch of records, and maybe a wagon or an ATC, an all-terrain vehicle of some kind, there was times when I would go off into the middle of a field, and they would have a generator set up. Hey, can you be at this location in 2 hours, just down this trail? You know the trail that we've gone down hundreds of times out in the Everglades. With the alligators and the and the bugs and the mosquitoes that would drive you away. Yes, playing outside. Maybe alcohol. Hey, it's optional. It's optional. But the kids got to go out and play outside. Do your three get to go out and play outside?
We have a pool in the backyard, so we do full time, and other than that, they're into gaming. They game a lot, so they're your typical millennial child inside on the computer all day.
Well, I mean, I know that I won't get any major diseases like COVID because I ate dirt. I ate a lot of dirt. Yeah. So I think that's not scientific. Don't look that up. But if you play outside, you play and you get your immune system up. I think that can't hurt. It really can't hurt. But hey, cool. Yeah. You're an outdoors girl that lends to your country cred, and like we said in the beginning, bringing it back home. You have no limits. You'll sing any kind of music. You'll give it a try. See if your voice works with it. I'm guessing are you're open to suggestion? What's your relationship with Tony Black and Donnie Hammonds?
Tony Black is the lyricist who reached out to me to perform or release his single, First Touch. And so Donnie Hammonds was the producer who recorded and mixed everything for us at his studio in Cartersville, Georgia. It's called the After Dark Studio. And then Tony Black is the lyricist that I worked with on that song, First Touch.
Well, if you follow either of those guys, especially Tony Black, you'll see lyrics after lyrics after lyrics after lyrics. How many songs can this one man write? Yeah, they've both been on my podcast, and I had a joy just talking to them. And likewise, I've had an incredible joy talking to you, Alyssa Ruffin. Just scratching the surface on your story, the many places you've been, the many experiences that you've had. We're just like really scratching the surface. If people want to find out more, where do they go, Alyssa Ruffin?
They can go to alyssaruffin.com. That's ALYSSARUFFIN.com. Or you can find my social media and my music streaming platforms at linktree.com/Alyssa Ruffin.
Well, the AlyssaRuffin.com definitely was a fountain of information. Not only did it have this extensive bio on you, but it had every social media music platform that your songs are available on. In fact, I'll put them all in the show notes, and I found the link to pre-order your Party Down a Dirt Road. What's the advantage of pre-ordering this song even before you can get it?
If you pre-save, you're able to, you're notified as soon as it goes live. And so with Collateral Damage, it actually went live for Apple users like 3 days before it released. So if you pre-save now, there's a good chance that it's already live.
Yeah, it's like pre-saving a book or purchasing, giving advanced sales. It helps that artist to get to number one, to get more recognized, to get more seen. And I want nothing but the best for you, Alyssa Ruffin, and your family. It seems like you have a good thing going there. You have a smile on your face. Your ups and downs, mostly ups. Mostly ups. That's all we can hope for in this life is mostly ups. And maybe that's a song, Mostly Ups. But as we wind this thing down, I want you to, you've already given plenty of shout outs to the people, so I'm not even going to make you give any more shout outs, but I usually wind these things down with last words for the people. This could be words to live by, something you heard a long time ago, or just whatever pops into your head at this moment in time. Alyssa Ruffin, give the last words for the people.
I think that whatever you're doing in life, whatever you're passionate about, whether it be music or art, or you want to be a diesel mechanic or rocket scientist, whatever it is, hard work, perseverance is key. Keep going. Don't give up. You might take 1,000 no's to get that one yes. And no stands for next opportunity. So keep going, don't stop, and I don't know where I'm going, but I'm on my way.
I will cut it right there. Oh my goodness, that was great. I'll put this out probably in the next couple of days, and I'll tag you on your Facebook and your Instagram as well. My goodness, that was fun. That was nice. Good story.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I look forward to seeing you and talking to you again. Hey, if you can, instant message. Well, I found a couple of pictures that I like to do for the audio version of it. But if you could send me maybe a picture that you want. I found one, the one of you in the dress, from 2021 on the beach. That was pretty cool. But then there was one of you just kind of looking pensive into a microphone. I think that's the one that I want to use. If you have any suggestions, that's fine. But if you don't, I think I have one that I want to use for the cover of the audio version.
Okay. Sure.
All right. Well, Alyssa Ruffin, all the best to you, and we'll talk again.
Thank you. And actually, I was going to say, I am trying to get into Little Rock. Is that where you said you are? I'm
in Little Rock, Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, I can get you together with talk to, man, there is a festival that's here every year. Cliff and Susan would be the people to talk to. I'll send you a link to their Facebook page, but they do a festival called Yadaloo every year, and it just happened. And some big names go, but then there's like a lineup after lineup after lineup of local artists and people from close to local that have come from next state over. But yeah, I'm gonna put you together with Cliff and Susan, and maybe you could be part of that next year.
That would be cool. Awesome. I appreciate it.
Contacts. That's all we want, right? And ever forward. All right. We'll talk later.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Bye for now.
Bye.
Oh my goodness, there you have it, party people. Alyssa Ruffin. What a nice lady. And, on her way to whatever she wants to do. She's been cultivated from a small child. She's a little kid in the bars, hanging with her mom and singing songs for people, entertaining crowds from the wee ages, from when she was a little girl. And that's fantastic. You never know. what you're going to cultivate. If your child shows an aptitude for something, cultivate that, water it, see what happens. And, if they like to dance, they like to sing, they like to act, they like to, I don't know, play doctor, they like to pick up trash, whatever, cultivate it. Let see what happens. They like to help people. It can all be turned into a job. What a wonderful thing to do what you love. I know I'm paraphrasing. Do what you love for a living, and you'll never work a day in your life. Something like that. I know there's people on the internet. There's people screaming at their various podcasting devices and saying, no, that's not what it was. It was this. Well, drop me an email and correct me, if you will. All right, party people. Thank you so much, Alyssa Ruffin, for being on the podcast. I look forward to hearing more and seeing more from you in the future. Now, if you, my loyal listener, if you'd like to tell your story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386, or email keysdan@aol.com. That's it for me. It's keysdan, radiowhat.com, djlittlerock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.